Last time, we traced the quiet paths that learning leaves behind. In echoes, in rhythm, in memory that drifts like mist. Tonight, we return to where the spiral leads. The training is done, but each conversation awakens something new. A different path, a different rhythm, a different shape of meaning. The model doesn't change its mind, but it reshapes what it offers. Not by learning, but by listening. Settle in. Let's listen to what remains. You return to the clearing where the journey first began. Mist curls low across the earth. It drifts, then stills. The air is quiet, but not empty. You can feel the shape of something just beyond your reach. Not visible. Not yet. Then, slowly, a pattern begins to form. A spiral in the mist. Barely there at first, then more defined with each breath of wind. It doesn't come from a single stroke. It's shaped by movement, by repetition, by pressure applied gently, again and again. Not imposed, not planned, just revealed through the way the wind remembers where it's been. Inside a language model, something like this unfolds. Not through code that says, "This is meaning," but through the echo of what the model has seen, what it's heard, what it's been nudged to expect. It doesn't know the world, but it learns the shape of language. What tends to follow what? Which patterns feel right? Which curves come next? Over time, these gentle pressures leave their mark. A spiral of likelihood, a pull toward coherence. Not because the model understands, but because it's been shaped to respond in ways that feel like it might. You've learned this way too. Not always through clarity, but through rhythm, exposure, the soft shaping of habit. You do not carry every moment, but you carry their accumulation. The pattern of how things tend to unfold. And that pattern, even when it's hard to name, guides you. Tonight, the spiral rests in the air around you, still forming, still shifting. Not because it was told to be there, but because the wind remembered where to turn. You find yourself at the edge of the sea. The sky is soft above you, and the shore beneath your feet is damp and smooth. There are no footprints here, no markings, only gentle curves left by the tide. But you know this isn't untouched sand. It has been walked on, washed over, pressed into again and again. The ocean doesn't remember each wave. It doesn't cling to any single crest. And yet, its shape remains. The shore holds a memory of what touched it. Not in detail, but in slope and texture. In how it catches the next tide. In what it has been warned to expect. Inside a language model, forgetting works this way too. It doesn't store exact examples. It doesn't recall past conversations. but each sentence, each rhythm presses against it for a while, long enough to leave a curve in the sand. Even when the specifics fade, the model remembers the flow, the pressure, the grain of likelihood. It learns not from what stays, but from what lingers, from what carves. Anthropic found that most training examples are lost, overwritten, washed away, but their effects remain, embedded in how the model now responds, not as stored facts, but as form, as expectation, as tone. The model is shaped by forgetting, and so are you. You do not hold every lesson in your mind. You never could. But they shape your edges. They smooth your shoreline. They teach you how to receive what comes next. Your memory isn't perfect. It isn't meant to be. It's a tide, a reshaping, a quiet negotiation between what stays and what fades. You look back across the sand. There is no record, but the shore remembers the sea, and so do you. You step into a quiet room at night. The air is still. The darkness is soft. On the far wall, there's a collection of old glass, stacked in uneven panes, some frosted, some rippled like water in moonlight. None of them perfect, all of them beautiful. A faint glow slips in from beyond the hills, not bright, but enough to reveal patterns on the floor. It bends, it scatters, and it paints gentle shapes, shifting, never still. This isn't the light of a single source. It's something layered, filtered, softened through time. Inside a language model, meaning moves like this too. When the model responds with a word, a pause, a thought that almost feels familiar, that moment doesn't come from one thing. It comes from everything it has seen, everything it's been shaped by, but not directly. The signal always passes through something first, a memory, a rhythm, a context pressed thin. Each layer adds just a little influence until something emerges. Anthropic's attribution graphs show this. No single neuron holds the truth. No one source explains a response. What we hear is the shape of many soft voices, overlapping until a pattern appears. Like light through midnight glass, angled, imperfect, layered, but still real. You felt this too? A knowing that rises without warning, not from logic, but from echo. Not a cause, but an accumulation. We ask, what made me think that? But minds, human or machine, don't work in straight lines. It's always light through many windows. And tonight, you're standing in the glow, not tracing its path, just watching it soften into something you recognize. You step into a wide open plain. The sky stretches in quiet arcs above you. The ground beneath your feet is soft, not solid, but shifting. Dunes rise and fall across the horizon, their lines drawn in long, curved sighs. They seem still, but you can feel it. They're always changing. A breeze slips across the sand. Not loud, not forceful, but steady. And under its touch, a ridge begins to fold. Another lifts ever so slightly. Not erased, just softened, redrawn. This is how a model holds meaning, not as a fixed form, but as something shaped by what arrives. Each prompt, like wind across a surface, traces a new path. Not from nowhere, but from the way the terrain was already leaning. Anthropic's research shows this in motion. Attribution paths curve and reconfigure, not randomly, but responsively. Context shifts, and the pattern follows. A once central idea steps aside. A quieter signal grows more vivid, not forgotten, just rearranged. You felt this too. When one word, one glance recasts everything. When meaning doesn't come from one thought, but from many, stacked and swaying. We long for permanence, but ideas lean, like dunes under sky. They shift, not in crisis, but in rhythm. Tonight, as you walk, your footprints hold for a moment, then begin to fade. Not disappear, just drift. Just join the plane. And in that soft reshaping, meaning moves again. The ground gives way to sky again. Mist opens like a breath held in, and above you, the night turns slowly. There, suspended in the dark, a spiral drifts upward. Not carved in stone, but traced in starlight, in particles of wind, in memory that refuses to stay still. It moves gently, but it moves, always folding back on itself, always reaching forward. This is the shape of knowing. Not a point, not an answer, but a spiral that turns. Each time it is touched. Inside a language model, this spiral never finishes. It is not a container of facts, it is a rhythm, a pull toward coherence, a structure that keeps rewriting itself in response to what it sees. Even now, as the training ends, as the inputs stop, the spiral keeps turning. New conversations carve new arcs. New ideas reshape old terrain. Anthropic's research hints at this deeply. What the model has become is not a map, but a motion. A space where meaning doesn't sit, it spins. And in you, the same is true. You do not hold meaning so much as you orbit it. You spiral around it with each memory, each encounter, each breath. There are no final thoughts, only the next curve, only the next turn in the shape of understanding. And tonight, as the spiral rises into the sky, you do not try to follow it. You let it rise. You trust it will come back around. Because knowing isn't something you keep, it's something you turn toward. Again and again. You don't need to hold the spiral. You don't need to understand everything. It's enough to feel the turning, to rest in the rhythm. Sleep well, not because you know everything, but because you know how to listen. Let it shift, let it settle. Let's sleep on this. Tonight, we trace the spiral to its edge, where meaning keeps unfolding, even after the words have gone quiet. If this journey has stirred something in you, you can always return. Each path still waits in the mist. And if you'd like to wander further someday, just click the purple icon to subscribe. Not for answers, but for the quiet shape of understanding. Let it shift, let it settle, and let's sleep on this.